So I've given you point guards, shooting guards, and small forwards. Who the top 5 power forwards in the NBA going into this season? I'm about to tell you.
DreAllDay.com.
What up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. This is the 4th of 5 in this installment of top 5 players at each position in the NBA. If you haven't seen the previous 3 videos, point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, please check those out. Those will be in the recommended videos, which is on one side of this. I can't remember with the camera going the other way. But anyway, so get into the power forward debate. Let me first say that the semantics I'm not concerned with. So if I got a guy at the 4 position and you think he's a 5, or I got a guy at the 5, you think he should be a 4, or 4 at a 3, we don't care about that. What we're really going off of is the rankings. Who's better than who going into this season, in your opinion? I'm gonna give you my opinion. I want to hear your opinion. I know not all y'all are not all going to agree with everything I got here, so I want to hear what you think. If you don't agree with my rankings, tell me your rankings. If you think somebody was left off or in the wrong spot, tell me what your rankings is going to be, which player should replace who, and why. Tell me why. So don't just tell me who, but tell me why. You can tell me in the comments down here, and also let me know on Twitter at DreAllDay. So as we get into that top 5 power forward, I'm going to count down from number 5 to number 1. Number 4, power forward in the NBA going into this season, Serge Ibaka of the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm not even that huge of a fan of Serge Ibaka, but the guy gets it done. He blocks a ton of shots. He's not that great of a one-on-one defender. He can hit the mid-range shot very well, and he fits into the Thunder system very well. Working with KD and Russ, he doesn't need the ball all the time. He doesn't need to try to create his own shot. He can catch off the pass and finish whenever necessary. I think he works for the Thunder, so he's number 5 power forward. Number 4 power forward in the league, LaMarcus Aldridge of the Portland Trail Blazers. He's made the All-Star game like 2 or 3 times in a row. He's putting up 20-some points per game, close to 10 rebounds. He had those huge games against the Houston Rockets in the playoffs last year. He was killing Houston the first 2 games of that playoff series. I think he's poised to continue to be an all-star going in. Now these top 3 spots is actually kind of hard as I started to look at it, because we got 3 guys who have very differing arguments for them. We got one guy who's an up-and-coming superstar who I think is going to be the best probably by next year. We got another guy who puts up great stats as a great player, but he's been on losing teams. Then we got another guy who puts up great stats and he's on a good team, but he's also not the man on the team. But when he had a chance to be the man, he did his thing. So y'all probably know who I'm talking about, but let me remove the mystery. Number 3 power forward I put in the league. This is going to be controversial. Number 1, first of all, this guy I'm putting at power forwards. If you think he's a center, I understand, but I'm putting him in the power forward debate because it actually makes for a better debate now that I think about it, though that wasn't why I did it. Number 3 power forward, the Brow, Anthony Davis of the New Orleans Pelicans. I am a huge Anthony Davis fan. I think after this season, going into next year, Anthony Davis is going to be number 1. Whether you put him at power forward or center, he's going to be the best. He hasn't done it yet because the Pelicans didn't make the playoffs last year. He did make All-Star, but they didn't make the playoffs. So I can't put him above the other 2 guys because he doesn't have either this consistency of putting up the numbers or the wins to claim that spot. So that's why he's at number 3. The number 2 power forward, Kevin Love of now the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm a big fan of Kevin Love. I've had him on fantasy teams in recent years. Kevin Love has had some injuries and he's been on teams that have not won. Now, he is the best player on those teams that have not won, so he takes the blame for those teams not winning. So I'm not giving him a pass for that. But he has put up the stats consistently, more than Anthony Davis has. And his teams have not made the playoffs, just like Anthony Davis's teams haven't made the playoffs. So I got to put Kevin Love above him because he's done it for longer than Anthony Davis has done it. That's just the way that I chose to pick it. And I think Kevin Love is going to really excel finally on a team that is going to make the playoffs in the Cleveland Cavaliers. His stats, I think, will probably go down a little bit as far as the scoring. I think the rebounding numbers should actually stay consistent, and it'll be very interesting seeing him throwing those outlet passes to Kyrie Irving and LeBron James this season. Number 1 power forward, I had to keep the number 1 guy. I got to go with Blake Griffin. I think last year I might have had Kevin Love number 1. I don't even remember. Blake Griffin's number 1 because Blake Griffin has done the most winning of those 3 guys. Between him, Anthony Davis, and Kevin Love, neither of them have even made the playoffs. Blake's been in the playoffs every year. Now I know he got Chris Paul on his team, who's one of the greatest one of the best players in the league right now, #2 power forward. And he's actually, between the three of them, the only guy who has a teammate in any of my top 5s. But when Chris Paul was injured last year and Blake was asked to be the man and carry the team for a stretch, he did it, and he did it very well. His numbers actually went up. So I do like the fact that Blake did that. Blake has put up the stats just like Kevin Love and Anthony Davis has, and he's done more winning, though I know his teammates have something to do with it. A win is a win. So that's why I put Blake Griffin as my top power forward. So I want to know what you think of that list. What would you change? Who would replace who? And tell me why. My top 5 again: Serge Ibaka, LaMarcus Aldridge, Anthony Davis, Kevin Love, and Blake Griffin. So let me know in the comments what you think. And also tweet me at DreAllDay. Let me know what you think if you disagree with that list. That's it. Tomorrow, we'll finish this out with my top 5 at the 5 at the center position. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. Thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you check back next week for another Q&A video where I take your questions. All my most popular videos are up here. Follow me on your favorite social networks over here. And make sure you are subscribed to catch all my new content coming out every day on this channel. Work on your game.